Hey, you know what time it is? Submission time. Because in the fall, that's when pretty much everybody's open for all types of different stuff. So it's a great opportunity. If you've been building up that portfolio over the summer, you have some poems, might as well start circulating them. Works best if you have at least five, but probably works even better if you have 10 or 20. And you can start creating some packets, trying to compile and curate for different editors. But let's just see how it goes, right? Let's just jump right in there and see how it goes, okay? So here we are on Chill Subs. Chill Subs is free. It's a great way to explore and see what's going on. So we're going to click Browse. We are going to go for poetry here. We want open for submissions. I don't want to pay any fees, so we're making sure we're not going to pay any fees. We want I want to get paid, right? So let's do paying submissions. I don't care whether it's Simul or not. I got different stuff to go. So just browse around, right? You can see a bunch of different places. You could send to Better Than Starbucks if you want, or Bitch and Kitsch, or Blue Marble, or there's just like tons and tons of places to send your stuff to. A lot of these places I haven't heard of. Haven, Speculative, geez, Halloran, Litmag, gonna holler at you. Ice Queen, woo! A lot of different stuff going on there, ladies and gentlemen. Don't submit everywhere. Do your research. Figure out what they're doing. Figure out if it's a good fit for you. That's probably the best way to go, right? I've heard of Guernica. Let's have a look. Chill Sub says top tier stuff, not Paris Review, but okay. That's an understatement. All right, let's go over to their website and see what is up. Maybe we should read a poem or two before we jump in there, huh? Let's just click on this one. It's the first one. Tristan Tzara, translated by Heather Green. Senseless hears the man with the crystal contractions, with the rumor of salt, with the doll's past tense, at the hollow step in a bed of distress, nevertheless present at the passage of spring. Man, as long as he passes his stop, is wall of heavy shoulders, and now the light is black, the sun's salty. It's good, right? I would have to keep reading to really understand what this poem's about. But I can tell it's interesting. It's well written. Let's see. In the middle of August, I saw the sky. One morning on a wet day during the week, in which I had sharpened my cutlass from dark till dawn, braving the stubbornness of wet leaves. For the wet branches of trees that grew across the farm path, snatching at legs. Where are you going with this, though, buddy? I mean, it's okay. Let's do one more. A grain of rice cannot feed 100 mouths. A solitary tree cannot house 1,000 birds. The government doesn't speak for us. We don't speak for the slain deer. We welcome dawn and drown it in the backwater. That's good. It's very good. Very, very good. All right, so everything here is good writing. Whether it's perfectly, totally my style or not, don't know. But does that matter? Together above the kitchen sink, we peeled 100 russets. You taught me how to scoop their eyes out. Okay, that's good. I mean, all this stuff's good, right? So, let's just read what they're all about, what they say that their journal is all about, what their goal is about. Okay, so we make sure we're on the same page. Founded online 2004, award-winning nonprofit magazine. Federal and private support. Okay. Home for incisive ideas and necessary questions. We publish blah, blah, blah. Exploring identity, conflict, culture, justice, science, and beyond. Okay. So they want poems that are kind of perhaps a little bit more, provocative, topical, but incendiary, perhaps. They want things that intersect different layers of culture and politics. So I think I can give him that, you know. I think I can punch him in the face with some poetry. Woo! Let's go, baby. Let's do this. Right? Let's see what we got, Guernica. Okay. Okay. Where do we go? Submit. We accept general poetry. Okay, before submitting, review. You all should review before you submit. Simultaneous are accepted. Simultaneous means I can send to Guernica and I could send to somewhere else at the same time, and they're not going to be mad at me. Oh, but how are they going to know? How are they going to know? Do they have spies on the inside? No, they're not going to know. But, you know, basically, sooner or later, you play the game wrong, right? And you submit to a bunch of places that say no simul, and someone takes a poem. And that puts you in a very, very awkward situation, which you want to avoid. So just don't do that, right? Be a good Jedi. Don't go to the Sith and try to game people, right? It'll catch up with you sooner or later. We're trying to publish poems. The goal is to publish poems, not to run around not publishing poems, right? So follow the guidelines here. Guernica will hold exclusive print and digital rights for the published poem for 90 days. Okay, whatever. Sounds good to me. Sounds good to me. Now what do we do? Read the general guidelines. This form, okay, I will read the guidelines. This form is for submitting poetry. You may submit up to 5 poems at a time. Okay, sign into submittable. Okay, I'm signed in. Title, 5 poems, baby. 5 poems, baby. No, we're not going to put the baby in there. Cover letter. Oh, doesn't that suck, though? We got to give them a cover letter? I know, kids. I know it's mean and scary and horrible. But we do got to do that. Okay? I know a lot of folks out there, if you're just cutting your teeth, you know, your cover letter isn't necessarily going to be that killer, but we got to put something in here, folks. You know, and everybody thinks their cover letter could be better, right? So, you know, I kind of have a template where it goes so I don't have to think about this all the time. And that helps me kind of just be focused on my task. So my tip for the cover letter, guys, here is to keep it as short and sweet as possible. We do not want a lot of stuff in this cover letter. So if you don't have a lot of credits, items on your CV, just be like, I graduated from this college, or I'm attending this place, or I studied with this professor, and it's my privilege, and that's it. You know, don't tell them about your cats. Don't tell them about your hobbies. Don't tell them about, you know, if you have some other stuff, if like you worked in as a newspaper journalist, or you wrote for technical articles, don't tell them about, they don't give a shit. Okay. Maybe if you published a novel, maybe they kind of sort of, you know, I don't know. Stay focused. Okay. So then we do the attach-a-roni here. I have this ready to go for them. I'm going to send them some poems. I guess I should have a once over it, but yeah, I'm going to send them some stuff. You know, I don't know. I have a poem or two about 9/11. I don't know. Maybe I included that in the packet. Some poems about I don't know, maternity issues, and that are sort of political, and I think kind of could be interesting. I don't know. I'll let you know if anything gets taken. You'll be the first to know if they like a poem. I'll certainly let you guys know. And you know, let's just be honest here. Be fair to yourself, right? Send and forget as much as possible, and put this out of your head. Don't be checking on it and picking at it all the time. I mean, they probably take. We could look up the statistics, and let's do that. I'll submit, and then we'll look up the stats on Duotrope, what their stats are. But you know, they're going to take less than 5% of stuff people send. So I mean, even if you're good, even if your chops are tight, and you're sending quality stuff, and you're a really, really strong poet, they still probably, you could say like 3/4 of even strong poets probably get the no. So persistence is key, ladies and gentlemen. It's like being a baseball hitter. It's like a 300 average is actually like pretty damn good. All right, so I'm just gonna pause for a second here, and we can look up those stats together. Okay, here we go. Here's this is on Duotrope. I pay $50 a year for a Duotrope subscription. It's not necessary. You don't need this. I think Chill Subs is a really great resource, and you can get most of the stuff you need out of Chill Subs, which is free, which is why we browsed over there first to start our little adventure. But here we go. I mean, they tell you when markets open, close. They give you these stats. So they're saying 0.5 of submissions. But since I'm sending 5 poems, that's kind of weird. So they say 2.58 of submitters accepted with this exclamation mark, and they say rejections are often underreported. Right. So we could say that there's a kind of a sampling issue with Duotrope. There's kind of 2 big sampling issues. One of which is Duotrope. The people who subscribe and are reporting information to Duotrope about their acceptances and rejections are already a self-selected population that probably overrepresents more professional, more accomplished poets to begin with. Just a random guess. I don't know the data, but that's just my guess. Then the second thing that they're saying is even among their population, people who are reporting statistics to them and paying for their service and telling them when they get accepted or rejected, which I don't bother to do, by the way. There are lots of people who probably are more likely to report to Duotrope when they're accepted. And if they're rejected, they don't even bother telling Duotrope about it. So that means that their statistics get a little bit funky. So I think we could say, for Guernica, that, instead of this 2.5% of submitters accepted, we could probably put that down to like just rough and ready, like cut it in half to like 1% or so. So out of like every 90, 100 submissions that they get, they take like 1, right? Would probably be fair to say. So if you're really, really good, right? If you're in like that top quintile of performance as a poet, and you're just awesome. Even then, right? So you're going to cut that. You're going to cut those odds from, 1 in 100 to like 1 in 10, right? If you're just if you're incredibly strong, or 1 in 20, I think would probably be fairly reasonable if your shit is together. You know your trade. You know how to write a poem. There's no glaring grammatical errors and spelling errors and all those types of like cell phones that like people do. Your stuff is pretty tight. You have good imagery, and you're sending them stuff that their editors are interested in. I think that's going to work out well. So yeah, love to talk to you all about, about this part of the practice. I don't want to overemphasize this part because I feel like, if you're building a sustainable poetry practice, the most important thing for most of you folks to do is to be writing every day or every week, to be having a consistent practice around your composition. Then from there, you're going to build on the second cylinder in your engine, which is being able to revise continuously, always be revising and kind of ruminating like a cow chews its cud. You're always regurgitating a poem and reworking it and chewing it and figuring out how to get better. That process takes time. Sometimes it takes weeks, sometimes it takes years, depending on the poem, but you're tenacious. You never, ever, ever, ever give up on a poem. You continue reworking that SOB over and over and over again until it's ready to go. And then that final cylinder is you're sending some stuff out. After researching carefully, the lay of the land, the journals, and you're not wasting your time and energy firing off a lot of stuff that's going to miss. And you understand, you understand you're going to continue to write And you're going to continue to adapt whether your poems are accepted or rejected. And if you think the hardest thing about being a poet is rejection, you're damn wrong. Because what can happen is you have a poem accepted and you can get too high. And you can start to think that your shit don't stink, right? And a single poem getting accepted somewhere doesn't mean that much. It's a long, long journey, ladies and gentlemen. Be consistent every day. And be sure to subscribe up, because right now I'm like handcuffed by YouTube. Those total dicks at YouTube won't let me do stuff like make these text posts or image posts and stuff like that. So I can't communicate with you all and tell you about what's going on till we get the shackles off. That requires 300 subscribers. We're at like $1.50 now. We're halfway there. So all you got to do is hit subscribe to help me out. Simple thing you can do to help me, because I got your back. And you know that. Thank you so much. Be in touch. Hit me up with questions. I love engaging with you guys. Take it easy.